What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock, what you should be looking out for the future. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and show you what may end up happening to Tesla based off the trend we're seeing and based off what ended up happening. I'm also going to talk about the volume for the SPY and how all these things may affect Tesla going forward, some big pieces of news affecting Tesla, and some major things that Elon Musk, the man, the myth, the legend Elon Musk has been tweeting about, as he does have some very important tweets about a potential Tesla van coming out for the future. Now, not only would that make me very bullish, but that would be very, very cool for Tesla going forward. It would really, really open more doors for their products, for their customers, and so on and so forth. Now, before I break anything down about the Tesla van, the robo van, and etc., I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Don't take any of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. Not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo with the link down below and deposit $100 into the account, you're guaranteed up to 10 free stocks, each worth up to $2,500. And the best part is, out of the 10 free stocks, 5 will come from the wheel right here, which means you could win 5 free Tesla shares or a mix of these different stocks. It's a limited time offer. It ends in just 1 week. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, 2 days ago, I made a prediction that Tesla would push all the way up to the 730s. And I thought that it would happen around Wednesday, right? I made that video and I ended up being wrong about that because Tesla did end up trading kind of sideways. But then today comes and then all of a sudden Tesla pushes up to the 730s, exactly where I thought it would. So it ended up happening about a day later than what I thought would end up happening. And at the end of the day, it happened. So this is actually a pretty good sign in my opinion, but I am pretty skeptical about what the stock may end up doing. And I do have this being a potential trap in the back of my mind. I'm going to show you why I feel that way. So the overall market, it's pretty much less fearful than before. We were on the extremely fearful side before. Now we're on the fearful side. But right now, the market's not entirely back to full-on confidence. Now, in order for us to come back to full confidence mode, we need to see big institutions and big money really pile in. And we need to see this big shift in the dynamic. And we're not necessarily there yet. We still have a lot of information coming out for July. And I mentioned in previous videos, I do think that there are more bearish signals than bullish signals for the second half of July. So we'll have to see how those really point out first, for us to really, really see the recovery. But other than that, I want to talk about something else that's important. So if we look at the overall volume, Tesla did run on a kind of smaller volume than usual. The average volume was actually about 31 million over the last 7 days. And right now it's at like 27 million. So it's a bit of a drop in volume. Not too bad for Tesla. But what is a little bit concerning would be the SPYs. Let me actually show you the SPYs if I could find it. The SPYs average volume was like at 90 plus million, I think over the last 7 days or so, 96 million. And today it was at only 60 million, yet this thing was up over 1.5%. So not the best of signs, which is what makes me a little bit skeptical. And I am very cautious. I'm cautiously optimistic about this move. So what's happening to the market is this. The SPY is in a very key zone right now. Right now, it does look like it has some room to go maybe as high as that 390 range. But we got a rejection off. That was like around 392 to 393. We got a rejection here the last time we actually came to this level. So this is going to be a key zone. I would like to see the SPY continue to push up. If the SPY could break that, if we break past 393, we start pushing to 395, there's a possibility we actually fill the gap all the way up to about 400. And that's going to be very, very good for the markets. It could actually prop Tesla up, but we have to wait and see how this performs tomorrow. If you look at the overall volume, I could even use daily candles to show you this. The volume is just not there. It's just not looking too good in my opinion. It's just not normal to see the SPY kind of performing like that. And typically when you see volume this low, especially for a green day, it's possible we may actually start to drop a little bit for tomorrow. So when we look at the NASDAQ, very similar story in my opinion. It's up 2.28%. Nice push to the upside, but it's forming this W. And you could see it's not even like a typical W. It's kind of more of an upward trend with it. But anyways, looking at where it is, we're very close to that key resistance level at around 11,669. So from there, I would love to see how the NASDAQ performs. It does look like we could get a bit of a rejection. So with that said, I mean, if we don't get rejected and we actually push up, then we could fill the gap all the way up to about 11,750. very much in the realm of possibility. Now for Tesla, there's some very interesting things I want to discuss with you guys. So I mentioned in a previous video that I did think Tesla would make some bullish moves. We finally got to that. But if I actually zoom out over the last, month and a half, you could see Tesla's been respecting a bit of a downward trend. And we could see some pushes to the upside while we're still respecting a downward trend. And in this case, Tesla could still be in that unless we actually break out of this zone. So right now we want to see how Tesla reacts to 740. That's a key zone. If we break 740, that's going to be a pretty good sign. Now the next very key level to look out for is that 750. If we could break that, let's see how this performs around 756, because last time we peaked right there. And if we could break 750, that's going to be a very bullish signal. If we get good volume, the market improves temporarily, that will be very, very good. But so far, I don't think that's extremely likely considering the trend and how the SPY has been performing. But I do have to note that sometimes there are surprises that you don't even expect. I mean, I thought Tesla would run like this on Wednesday. It ended up happening on Thursday. So sometimes things don't always go as you plan. So the most likely outcome is we might see more downside in the later weeks. That doesn't mean that Tesla's done from here. It does look like it has a little bit more room to continue pushing up. But I do think that by the time we get to the third week of July, fourth week, and maybe part of next week, we are going to see some downside in my opinion. And I think this way because looking at the setup, I noticed on the 5-minute candles, we actually have a gap down here. And that was very interesting to see. Like right here, we actually have a gap down at about $695 a share. It's very probable that this gap will get filled eventually. Tesla may start to come down, but I want to see how this actually performs in this channel first before we get there. And other than that, we also have another gap, I think, like way up here. Let me show you the other gap. If the SPY and the NASDAQ start to push up really hard and the market allows it, I mean, a super bullish possibility would be Tesla pushing up to 772. I mean, if we break past like 756 and 760 and we hold that range, then I would find it very likely we actually fill the gap up here before getting a rejection. But so far, I can't confirm that just yet. We still are respecting this downward trend. Until we break out of this, that's when it's going to be confirmed. But as of right now, I'm not seeing that. If we get a big rejection, then this thing could actually come tumbling down over the next few weeks. It's a possibility. It's very, very real and realistic. I need to be as pragmatic as possible. So what do I think is going to play out for tomorrow? Tomorrow is going to be an important day because we're going to see how Tesla performs. And if you look at these support and resistance levels, you could see how Tesla's kind of trading sideways in these ranges. It gets a nice push up, then it just continues to push from there. So right now, it's looking like it has a little bit more room to continue pushing up, but I'm a little bit worried about how it performs around 740 to 750 because we have very strong resistance in these ranges, both historically and also considering how the market is performing. Now, generally, when we have these big green days, and if the SPY is green on such little volume, downside and a rejection is very much in the realm of possibility. So what I think could end up happening, I can't really promise this, but I think it's very probable, is Tesla pushes up to about 740 tomorrow. Maybe it'll go as high as 750, but we might get a rejection off that and continue to drop a little bit. It is possible for us to close a little green for Friday, but going into next week, we could see more potential downside and Tesla coming right back down all the way down to like 695 to fill that gap. It's very much in the realm of possibility, like I said. Now we have big earnings reports coming out for next week. We have another FOMC meeting, and many different reports are suggesting that the Fed is most likely going to be hawkish, and we will see them raising rates by about 75 basis points, right? They're raising the federal funds rate, and we may see a continuation of the quantitative tightening policies. These in turn are going to slow down the economy, and they could even announce a potential recession this month. So there are still many potential bearish catalysts coming out, especially as we approach the FOMC meeting. We might see more downside, which is going to be near, I believe, the 3rd or 4th week of July. So like I said before, second half of July is probably going to be more bearish for the markets. But until then, I do see a little bit room for upside. So once again, I do think Tesla is most likely going to get rejected off between the 740 to 750 range. But if I am wrong and this thing actually pushes up really hard, if there's a big surprise, we would have to see how it reacts to 756. If we break 756, then it is possible for us to fill the gap at 772 before getting a rejection off that. It's just that I can't confirm that yet, considering the volume and the overall trend the market is showing right now. But I will be able to confirm this maybe tomorrow or the day after based off how it performs. Now, another thing I want to talk about is what happens if the market does end up like plummeting tomorrow, the market starts dropping. If that's the case, Tesla should have some support at 730, but it won't be that strong since we just barely came into this range. And this thing will try to test maybe 715. 715 is very much a very possible level for Tesla to try to hold. If that doesn't hold, then 700 down to about 695 are where this thing will be going. With that said and done, what do I think is going to happen? Once again, like I said before, let me just draw it out real quick. It's very much possible for, wait, hold on. I need to fix my chart for a second. One thing is a little messed up. Right here, it's very much possible for Tesla, in my opinion, to push up just a little bit. It could go as high as that 740, 750 range, maybe like this. And if it continues to break to the upside, if it could break 760, that's going to be very, very bullish. But I just don't see that happening just yet, given the current market conditions and the volume we're seeing and other things like that. So it is possible we get a bit of a rejection off that and we kind of trade in this range for some time. We might actually see a little bit of a sell-off near the end of the day, because a lot of market makers like to push things down on Fridays. Very much possible, completely normal. I don't think Tesla's going to basically tank really hard, but I do think it's possible for us to close a little bit in the red, but at a much better place compared to where we were a couple of weeks ago. So that's kind of like how I'm seeing it. I'm not super pumped unless we get a massive rip and we actually break past 756 and hold that. That's going to be very good. But as of right now, we could still be respecting a bit of a downward trend, despite being a little bit green. Just to show you what it looks like, it's looking like this. Until we break out of it, that's what I'm basically seeing for now. With that out of the way, I want to talk about what the news is now saying about Tesla. Looking at this article right over here, we can see something very interesting. Tesla plans on opening the superchargers to non-Tesla electric vehicles in the US later this year. That is going to be incredible. I think the White House is totally in on this as well. And I mean, people can have their different views. At the end of the day, Tesla is working collectively with other EVs in a way. They are helping to power them and they are incentivizing the world to transition to EVs. So that's very, very cool. I think it's going to give them a lot more exposure. It's going to improve their revenue. And there's so many great things that come from this, because Tesla is just an absolute monster in my opinion. Now, Tesla's also going to begin the production of the supercharger equipment that will enable non-Tesla EV drivers in North America to use their superchargers. So it's going to be expanding all over the world. They're just starting in the US to do this. And over time, it's just going to really help them grow from a fundamental basis. It could actually help boost their EPS and other factors like that a lot of investors look at over time. And that's just very, very awesome. So huge shout out to Tesla. I also want to talk about some important things Elon Musk talked about. So going right over here, I think Elon Musk basically started off with this Starlink for boats, right? Very, very cool. And if we go down here, Musk actually ended up tweeting right after that, maybe Tesla should make a highly configurable robovan for people and cargo. And basically the Doge designer replied, a Tesla robovan will be lit. And they have a picture right over here. It's very spacious. It's large. They could fit so many seats just like that. The doors look pretty cool too. So that to me would be an absolutely incredible design. It is something that Elon Musk has in his mind. Musk responded, not bad. It is high time that the future looks like the future. Same goes for fashion. And as a result, I think down here, other people ended up replying and Musk ended up saying pretty much a van would have more roof height so you could stand or sit under it for shade. And going down right here, people are talking about how cool that would be for camping trips and so on and so forth. And Musk responded, maybe an optional solar power canopy that extends both sides of the van, basically tripling the roof area. That would be very cool in my opinion too. When do you ever see that before? I think that's actually absolutely incredible. I can't wait to see what comes out of this. So Elon Musk loves to share ideas. And to me personally, this will incentivize more and more people to buy these Teslas. It'll look very, very good for big families. I can't wait and see. Maybe big schools could even use this as well in the future going forward. So with that said and done, Musk is exploring new ideas. I think a potential Tesla robo van is going to be very cool as well. And I can't wait to see what specs they actually come up with when they actually do design one of these. I really believe they will in the future, but it's not confirmed yet. So just give it time, but it is an idea that Musk is putting out there, and I just wanted to inform you about that. With that said and done, thank you for listening. Please have an absolutely fantastic rest of the day, and I will most definitely see you guys in the next one. Looking at Tesla one last time, this is essentially what I think this thing may end up doing. I do think it's very probable that it gets a bit of a rejection in one of these higher resistance ranges, but with that out of the way, it's a-okay. I mean, I really would like to see this thing break out. The market's not perfect just yet, but it's just fine. Thank you. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Tesla to the moon, and peace out.